Do you think that young girl at Iowa would have ever imagined the life you've gone on to live?
Journalism always really appealed to me, and that's what I studied in college. But then, in order to put myself through college, I started modeling. And it was the modeling that kind of really opened up my eyes to being like, hey, I kind of like being in front of the camera. Like, this is kind of cool. And I dropped out of school actually just before my senior year. And my folks said, well, we always told you to follow your heart. And my dad said, you've got a good head on your shoulders. And that's kind of really when the transition into like the next stage of my life happened.
And had you met your husband, Peter, by this time?
Oh, I met Pete right as I started acting, actually.
Yeah.
Great story. We had gotten married in Australia. I was getting ready to start Mission Impossible 3, and we didn't have time to take a honeymoon because I had to fly back to LA. And so we get back to the hotel room, and of course I get the call sheet. They slide it underneath my hotel room door, and it's an intimate scene that I'm doing with Tom Cruise the next day. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is like my first day on set.
Pete, it's a perfect time for you to go sightseeing.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, baby, it's gonna be amazing. Just follow his lead. He's a total professional. Of course, I'd forgotten my key, and I knocked on the door. And he opens up the door and he goes, how was it? I was like, it was amazing. He goes, go brush your teeth, tell me all about it.
Go brush your teeth.
And then I tell him all about it. And he goes, baby, how cool is it that you were making out with Tom Cruise on our honeymoon? I was like, I knew I married the right man.
I mean, good for him. What a
Yeah.
team. What do you think was the film like? Flip things for you? Was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang like a transition one?
Yeah. What's more important is the story that happened before me getting that job, which was I was supposed to go fly in and audition with Shane Black, our writer-director, and read with Downey. And I remember flying, getting to the hotel, and I was like, there's no way I can go in. I don't know how to do this. I don't understand the tone. Like, there's no way. And I remember calling up my agent from the hotel phone, and her assistant puts me on hold. I had such an immense amount of fear in that moment. And I went, this means you have to do it, Michelle, you have to do it. And I just hung up the phone. And I walked out of the hotel room right then and there. I got in a taxi, and I got the job. And I have used that example for my life time and time again. The moment that I feel fear, jumping out of the plane, like getting across there with any kind of role, I just remember I've been here before. I've done it. I can do it again. And so I really take that as a sign. Once I have that anxiety, once I have that fear, I use that as like, oh no, that's a green light. Yeah. That's a real big green
And always
light.
there's sort of, you know, there's a bit of hand-holding that always goes up, leading us to the edge.
Yeah.
You know, like your agent or whatever, but ultimately when you're on the edge, you've got to kind of like hang out that phone, take that
And you got to
leap.
do it. You do. It's
But
got
that's
to take
a muscle.
that leap of faith.
Yeah, but it's a muscle, isn't it, inside?
Yeah.
You got to train that.
That's right. I love the way that you say that. It is like a muscle. You do have to train it. And I really think it's what ultimately defines people that are successful in any industry, you know, or, you know, it's really saying yes instead of saying no.
Yeah,
So,
that's not easy for people.
yeah.